Beyond the gates, full spoiler breakdown, Danny Dupree showed up at her ex-husband Bill Hamilton's wedding in a black dress with a gun in her hand. She didn't shoot anyone. She shattered a vase of flowers, but the message was crystal clear. This woman was not done with Bill Hamilton. Not by a long shot. That single explosive moment on the very first episode set the tone for everything that followed in Fairmont Crest. Bill had moved on and married a much younger woman named Haley Lawson. Danny, meanwhile, was trying to rebuild her life after the divorce. But old feelings don't die easily, and the pull between Danny and Bill never fully went away, which drove Haley absolutely crazy with jealousy. When Bill and Haley suffered a devastating miscarriage, Danny was the one who stepped in to comfort Bill, and Haley walked in on them. The look on Haley's face said it all. This triangle was far from over. Danny eventually got close to Andre Richardson, Ted's nephew, and the two fell into a complicated situationship. They hooked up more than once, but Danny kept pulling back, refusing to let Andre have it easy. She told him flat out, if he wants that side of their relationship, he has to put in real effort. Andre leaned in for a kiss, and she stopped him cold. The two eventually made a life-changing decision about their future together, getting married, but Danny's feelings for Bill continued to simmer just below the surface. Her new husband Andre noticed and confronted her about it directly. Wanting to know the truth about what she still felt for her ex, Danny confided in her friend Vanessa about her real feelings, setting off a chain of events neither of them expected. Then the tornado hit, but more on that later. On the other side of the Dupree family, Nicole Richardson had what looked like the perfect life. Accomplished doctor, successful marriage, beautiful home inside the gates. What she didn't know was that her husband Ted had a whole secret buried in his past. A woman named Leslie Thomas had been Ted's lover long before he married Nicole. Leslie was cunning, calculating, and utterly determined to claim what she believed was rightfully hers. To get her daughter, Eva, foot in the door, Leslie ran Nicole's assistant off the road and engineered Eva's placement as Nicole's new assistant. Eva had no idea who her father really was, at least not at first. Leslie's master plan reached its detonation point at Ted and Nicole's anniversary party. In front of everyone in Fairmont Crest, friends, family, colleagues, Leslie stood up and announced that she used to date Ted, and that Eva was his daughter, his secret child. The one he never told Nicole about. Nicole didn't scream. She didn't cry right there. She walked out. The marriage was over. Nicole served Ted with divorce papers and threw herself a divorce party, inviting Danny and her friend Vanessa over to toast to new beginnings. Ted, blindsided by the finality of it, was desperate to fight for her. His friend Andre urged him to try, but Danny and Nicole clinked their glasses and celebrated moving forward. At one point, Nicole almost weakened. She and Ted had a close moment at the country club, on the verge of reconciliation, until a fire alarm interrupted them. Nicole later told her friend Mona that if that alarm hadn't gone off, she would have made a huge mistake. They eventually met one final time at Orphe Jean's restaurant, hugged each other, and formally finalized the divorce. Ted told Eva privately that he intended to take full responsibility for everything that happened with Leslie. Eva was watching her mother carefully and was not impressed with Leslie's behavior, particularly the moment Leslie got so agitated during a confrontation with Ted that she threw money at him. Eva saw the whole thing and looked at her mother with fury. Nicole moved on by starting something with Carlton, who happened to be Ted's own partner. Talk about a power move. Meanwhile, Leslie, never one to quit, continued scheming to position herself, Eva, and a potential future baby as Ted's new family. She crashed events she wasn't invited to. She pushed boundaries at every turn. She tried everything to get Ted to enter a relationship with her while simultaneously using her knowledge of the past as leverage over everyone around her. The character of Ted himself went through a major behind-the-scenes change. Actor Maurice Johnson originated the role and played Ted through the bombshell anniversary party reveal. When the dust settled in May 2025, Keith D. Robinson stepped into the role and has been playing Ted ever since. Over in the Martin Richardson storyline, the congressman was carrying his own heavy burden. His husband Smitty expressed serious concern that Martin was experiencing hallucinations and urged him to seek treatment. Martin's political career was moving fast. He was planning a major fundraiser that would bring prominent figures from all over the DC area and beyond to Fairmont Crest. But his personal life was fracturing. He and Smitty clashed repeatedly over how to parent their teenage sons Isaiah and Elon, with the boys themselves causing drama of their own. Isaiah in particular struggled with his bond with Elon, and the tension between them bled into Martin and Smitty's relationship. Jacob Hawthorne, married to Naomi Hamilton, who is Bill's sister, discovered a shocking truth, that Samantha Richardson and Tyrell Richardson were actually the children of a woman named June. This revelation rocked the Hawthorne household and brought Naomi and her sister Gina together for an emotional reunion. Jacob also found himself spiraling as a storyline involving a dangerous figure called the Impaler escalated dangerously. He vowed to hunt this person down at any cost, much to Naomi's terror. She was thrilled to have her husband back in her life, but lived in constant fear of losing him again. The identity of the Impaler was finally revealed in the week of June 8, 2026, and it turned out to be Joey Armstrong's own sister. This revelation rocked Fairmont Crest to its core and sent shockwaves through multiple relationships. Joey Armstrong himself had a complicated position in the community, with unresolved tension with Vanessa McBride. Vanessa, widow of Doug McBride, whose strange death earlier in the series had never been fully explained, had seized control of something Joey valued deeply, and the power struggle between them was ongoing. Kat Richardson, Ted and Nicole's daughter, had her own heartbreak when she discovered that her boyfriend Tomas Navarro had slept with Eva Thomas, the very woman whose existence had destroyed her parents' marriage. She went to her mother Nicole, and the two of them sat together and comforted each other, both processing betrayals that cut to the bone. Kat later found herself having confusing feelings she couldn't quite sort out, and confided in her friend Chelsea. Meanwhile, Eva and Kat, despite their mutual hatred, were eventually forced to cooperate during a crisis, and even that reluctant teamwork couldn't make them civil for long. Chelsea herself had a whole separate story developing. She had grown close to a woman named Allison, but the situation became disturbing when it was unclear whether Allison was genuinely interested in Chelsea or if she was an obsessed stalker. The answer came in terrifying fashion during a hostage situation that turned violent. Allison nearly killed someone, and Chelsea had to be rescued. Ted Richardson got played for a fool during the same crisis, and a character named Leslie found the rug pulled out from under her. A man named Randy Parker was given a deadly assignment with an unexpected target, a storyline that had been building for weeks and put multiple characters in genuine danger. Bill supposedly dealt with a threat from a man named Kenneth, but then Kenneth showed up at the casino with Randy pointing a gun at him, leaving the entire storyline wide open and dangerous. Derek, married to Ashley, had been harboring a deep secret for weeks. His storyline ended in tragedy. Derek died, leaving Ashley devastated and withdrawn. His friend Shanice, a nurse who had been growing close to Ted, grieved alongside Ashley. Naomi was the one who finally convinced Ashley to stop hiding and come out to the community events again. Anita Dupree, the matriarch, had her own emotional journey running through all of this. She reunited with her former bandmates Sharon and Tracy for one final performance together, dedicated to their original member Barbara, a founding member of the group who had taken her own life. The performance was beautiful and heartbreaking. Anita poured everything into it. Then at the end of 2025 came the most devastating news of all. Anita was told she had cancer. The woman who had built everything, held the family together through scandal after scandal, and stood at the center of Fairmont Crest like an unshakable force, was now facing a battle that no amount of power or prestige could simply fix. Vernon Dupree, the retired senator, had also been carrying secrets of his own. He had been sneaking off to meet someone in private, and the fear that this secret could be exposed was eating at him. He and Anita had a long overdue conversation that the community had been waiting for, but the full truth of what Vernon had been hiding remained dangerously close to the surface. Then in June 2026, Fairmont Crest got the most unexpected visitors in its history. Vernon Dupree's longtime friend and ally, Victor Newman of Genoa City, the most powerful man in the Newman Empire, arrived by private helicopter to support Martin's political fundraiser. Victor stepped off the helicopter and embraced Vernon right at the gates. The town had never seen anything quite like it. He wasn't alone. Jack Abbott, his wife Diane, their son Kyle, along with Devin Winters and Abby Newman all made the trip from Genoa City to the DMV. It turned out Kyle and Martin had known each other from their time living in New York City. Devin had actually visited Fairmont Crest once before. He had come to offer EGOT winner Anita Dupree a recording deal, tying the two communities together before the big crossover event even began. Joey Armstrong showed up at the fundraiser completely unannounced, leaving Martin completely speechless. Leslie Thomas, despite being the last person anyone wanted at this event, found a way to crash it anyway, because Leslie always finds a way. And then the sky turned. A sudden, violent tornado tore through Fairmont Crest, turning Martin's prestigious fundraiser into a disaster zone. The chandelier inside the country club came crashing down, putting lives in immediate danger. People ran. Chaos erupted. In the middle of it all, Danny and Bill were trapped together in a broken-down elevator with the power completely out. Bill told her there was nothing to do but wait. Danny, furious, shot back. When had Bill Hamilton ever waited for help in his life? Whether their forced proximity led to a medical emergency or something far more romantic remained to be seen, but the tension between them was undeniable. Kyle Abbott and Haley got stranded together in the storm and had a charged, unexpected moment. Haley thanked him for saving her life, and the two of them had a surprise that nobody saw coming. Ted Richardson stepped up in the chaos, treating injured guests and showing a side of himself that went beyond his usual polished surgeon persona. And Anita, already carrying a cancer diagnosis, saw something at the event that raised serious doubts in her mind. She issued a warning that came too late for someone she loved. The tornado claimed at least one victim. Nicole was horrified by what she witnessed. And as Fairmont Crest picked up the pieces, it was clear that nothing, not the gates, not the money, not the prestige, could protect these families from what was coming next.